under formative assessment and student response systems, I chose the two tools, the Today's Meet and Plickers. For Today's Meet is a free microblogging site without logins. It allows teachers to easily create a virtual chat room where students can speak up. Its interface is very easy to use, and like Twitter, it uses a 140 character limit. The app can be used for class openers. Students can use their personal devices or classroom technology. The teacher can post discussions on a whiteboard for students to observe, perhaps also scaffold and personalize learning by responding to or extending responses with further inquiry. Students are able to converse, plan, and collaborate effectively and engage in discussion prompts using effective language with the site's character limit. It's free to sign up. It does cost $5 monthly or $57 yearly. So that's one of the apps. The other one is Plickers. We've actually used this in class. Nolan Amy joined Teach for America in 2008 when he developed his first version of Plickers. And while teaching, he developed it and then went public with Plickers in 2013. Plickers provides an about page on their website, giving viewers information about their CEO, Nolan Amy, the engineer, the community manager, basically all the head people that not fund but help to make Plickers use daily. It's a powerful time-saving tool that provides teachers with instant formative and summative assessments in an objective fashion. Students simply turn their card to the letter A, B, or C, A, B, C, or D, while the teacher uses a quick to launch Plickers app to simultaneously scan the cards throughout the lenses of his or her smartphone camera. And then instantly the students' answers load right to the screen. Recording answers of an entire class takes mere seconds, and the cards can be scanned from almost anywhere in the room. It allows students to be able to answer quickly. It allows the teacher to not have to hear students whine about if they can't get their answers up, or if some of them have them up or some of them don't. They can use it as quizzes, and like it said, it can be used for formative and summative assessment. So those are the two that I chose for discussion one under formative assessment and student response systems.
And I chose for formative assessment and student response systems Mentimeter and the tool Formative or Go Formative. So Mentimeter was co-founded by Henrik Frazen and a team of approximately 10 individuals. Information about the team, advisory board, and executive board can be found on their website. And Formative was, well, let's just keep going with Mentimeter. Mentimeter is a free interactive presentation software that allows you to create presentations that engage the audience through live polling that can be used for assessing your audience on any topic. No installation or download is required, and it's free. And it allows you to personalize your presentations and engage the audience in a variety of ways. This tool is useful for teachers because presentations are the primary way lessons are taught, and this tool allows interactions with the students to occur. And students are able to submit answers via electronics such as cell phones, computers, or tablets in the audience. And this transforms the pressure of test taking. And my other tool is Formative or Go Formative, and it was made by a team of educators across America with a goal to accelerate student growth. It's a free way to transform your content to the internet to create assessments, classwork, or homework. And basically live feed of students' actions are visible while completing the assignment. It can be used on any device connected to the internet and is free. It allows teachers to assess all students' individual needs and see student growth over a period of time. And it provides immediate feedback to students so they can see areas that need improvement and the areas of strength. And three reasons the tool should be used is that it can be used on many different technologies, feedback to students, and it saves paper.
All right. The two tools that I chose for the formative assessment were Socrative and ClassKick, and both of those are free to use tools. They were actually both started in 2010 by a group of educators, interestingly enough, on but different sides of the country. Starting with Socrative, it's a tool that assesses students with prepared activities in quick responses like short answers or just like a little blurb you have to answer to like sort of like a classroom exit ticket if any of you have ever experienced that in a classroom. Um, it's also used to sort of track student development through the assessment. So you use Socrative to gauge your students' level of understanding in a certain subject, and then Socrative will suggest ways that the teacher can help the student to grow in that area. The Socrative app is free. You can download it on your computer, iPhone, or tablet, but there is in-app payments to upgrade the software if you choose to do so. There's also two different versions of Socrative. There's Socrative Student and there's Socrative Teacher. Socrative Teacher is more for the assessment part of Socrative, where it's you can create sort of lessons or assessments to just gauge your students' understanding on a certain topic. And then Socrative Student is where you basically do the lessons that someone in Socrative Teacher created, and it also keeps track of your progress. And the other learning tool is called ClassKick, and it's a free app that also tracks student development. But this one does it in real time by constantly updating through the students' profile that they create when they sign up for the tool. Like the other app, ClassKick is free, but if you want to upgrade it, you do have to pay for it. And you can download it on your iPhone, tablet, or computer. Uh, ClassKick, the only difference really between the two is that parents can also view a ClassKick profile instead of it just being parent student and teacher relations for Socrative. It can also be parent teacher and student relation for ClassKick, and so the parents can go on there and sort of not necessarily collaborate with the teachers, but sort of see where their students where their child is doing and what areas they need improvement in the ways that the teacher and the parent can sort of help out. And those were the two for me.
Okay, next we have review and study tools. And for this, I did Kahoot and Quizlet Live. First, Kahoot is a free internet program used to create and personalize your own learning game. It can then be accessed by anyone on an electronic device. It is easy and fast to use as it requires no account setup or installation. And it can be played by anyone across the globe. Kahoot was developed by the founding team led by Johan Brands, Jamie Brooker, and Asman Urus. I don't know. And it was launched in August 2013, and it was last updated November 2016. And I've actually seen this tool used in a lot of my placement classes because like really get excited about it. It allows students to review topics learned in class. Students just log onto their computer and enter the code given by the teacher, and you just play a game. It's very like vibrant and energetic. And the other tool is Quizlet Live, and it is also a class game. Instead of working individually, though, students work in teams to enhance communication. Also, it has an online code that you have to enter. It was created 10 years ago by Andrew Sutherland, who actually created the tool to help him study for his French vocabulary quiz, and he aced the quiz, and so his friends asked if they could use the tool too, and it just spread. 80% of the content created is by users all over the globe. So far, 2 billion study sessions have been reviewed, and 40 million users use it per month, and 1 in 4 high school students use the tool daily. It's just another way to review online and familiarizes the students with technology rather than just giving them certain terms to remember. That's all that I have for that.
And I did quizzes, I think that's how you say it. So what it is it takes the excitement of a game, like what you said, Rebecca, for Kahoot. Show style review. It's an excitement of a game show style review, and puts the whole excitement in the student's hands. With Kahoot, like you said, everyone sees the question and possible answers on the projector and answers simultaneously. With quizzes is different because the questions and possible answers are displayed individually on student devices. This tool is a student-based and it's student-paced. So if a student's having like a hard time or needs to slow down, then that's definitely accessible. No one can get upset because their device didn't load the game fast enough to complete. It all goes on the timing with the teacher. He or she is the one that controls it. And with the quizzes games, it can also be assigned as homework as long as everyone has a laptop, and it's expanding its fun experience so that's work outside the classroom and isn't just looked at as like boring homework. Teachers are able to display their screen on their projector to see progress for each student and instantly see how many questions the class answered right or wrong. So it could be as far as like a Jeopardy game or a review game, but it's definitely versatile and can be easy to use in the classroom for teachers. The next one is observational assessment. For that section, I did Classcraft. For Classcraft, it turns the classroom management into a game you can play with your students for the whole year. It actually gamifies the whole classroom experience. You can still teach your class the way you usually do, but when a student engages in a way they don't normally do, you can reward them with a positive thing, with a thing called experience points. This could be for helping someone, being positive in a class, or getting a question right. They use these experience points to level up and unlock real life powers. So it's an actual game in a way. These powers could be anything the teacher wants. Eating in class, turning an assignment in late, coming to class maybe a few minutes late. Whatever the powers may be, it's essential that they are offering something that the students actually want and they can strive for, and it motivates them. At the same time, you can take points away with help points. If a student behaves in a negative way, bullying, maybe not turning their homework in, or being late to class numerous times, like in any game, if a student keeps receiving negative points, then they fall to 0 points. The teacher can assign the punishment for this. Classcraft is played in games. So if one of their members does fall into the negatives, then the whole team loses. So it gives that atmosphere for motivating each team member to do better, so they support each other. And it's an actual real like virtual game that can be used in a way to like manage the classroom and to make sure everyone gets that family atmosphere out of it. As a result of point graphs, students are more inclined to make sure the class stays on task, behaves in a positive manner, and ultimately thrives. That's Classcraft.
So for my observational assessment tool, I decided to do Class Dojo. It sort of fits in the theme of the formative assessment tools that I discussed earlier, where it's trying to sort of create a sort of unification between the parent and the teacher and the student. Oftentimes, parents feel sort of left out of the classroom, and that's where the term like a helicopter parent comes from. And so this what Class Dojo aims to do is sort of bring teachers, parents, and students together in sort of the most effective way possible. And Class Dojo originally started out in 2011, actually as a way to keep attendance, other than just saying if you're here or not. You just sign in on the software. But now Class Dojo has evolved into a way for parents, teachers, and students to come up with the best optimal lesson plan for a student. So Class Dojo offers a lot of different lesson plans and different softwares that are owned by Class Dojo, such as creating your own story at the end of the semester or the term, um, making PowerPoints, quizzes, and then Class Dojo also, just like the Class Kick, it tracks its students in real time. But Class Dojo also takes a sort of social media cue in that you sign up for it as a student and you make your own profile like you would for Facebook or Instagram or something like that. And as your circle of parents and teachers and other contacts grows, so does your Class Dojo grow. Your profile is expanded, and you have more access to other people's learning tools that they've found effective through Class Dojo. And that was it.
So
Okay, next we have content sharing, right?
Mhm.
Okay, for content sharing, I did Chuzito and New Zealand. And Chuzito is a language-savvy software that can be used to read through web pages to determine whether they are appropriate for your students based on grade level, varying reading abilities, and topic of research. It was founded by research conducted by Dr. Miyazaki, who is a linguist, scientist, and passionate educator. It was introduced in 2012. It's basically like having an online librarian to help students find sources they want and need. This is useful because there are millions of sources on the internet, and this really narrows down information that is being looked for. And it's personable to what each student is looking for, and it's easy to use. And for New Zealand, it is a digital library for students like Chuzito, and it's used to find articles on different nonfiction topics as well as current events that are happening based on reading levels with hopes to improve students' literacy. And it was founded by Matthew Gross and co-founded by Dan Cogan-Drew. It was created in 2012 and last updated November 2016. It is also personable to students because it varies on students' literacy levels, and students can find what they're looking for with little work and little confusion. It's very beneficial to their classroom. It's easy to use. It also connects students to current events that are going on around them. That's it.
Okay, under content sharing, I did QR stuff. And what this is you can use the website anonymously as a free user with no need to sign up or open an account. And actually, when you don't sign up and you don't use an email, then that means that they won't harass you or send you spam. So that's actually pretty good. The subscription for it is free. The subscription is a fee charged, which relates to providing time-based subscription access to the extended feature set of the website for the period of the subscription purchase. So opening an account is required for paid subscribers in order to coordinate the functionality of your account until allocate the QR codes, you can create your account with your history, but still it doesn't have any spam, so that's definitely a plus. The QR codes and the underlining short URLs created by both free users and paid subscribers are permanent and continue to function indefinitely. Periods simply determines how long you have to access generation, management, and reporting features of the QRstuff.com website. Like I said, you don't have to sign up and you don't need to use your email, but if you are going to use it and you are going to be using a lot of the QR stuff, then you definitely need to subscribe for the subscription, and that does have fees. And then there's also other fees with the subscription. But that is everything on the QR stuff. It can also you can also create QR codes for well over 20 data types and smartphone actions. Unlike most other QR code generators, they don't force you to use URL shorteners. Generating QR codes in printable formats is done either in a single code or you can use an array of codes. When generating QR codes, they're good enough to use as artwork or for a t-shirt and allow you to actually buy the shirt from the site. And that is the QR codes.
Okay, so for my content sharing, I chose to discuss Bridge URL. And Bridge URL is sort of unique in its own way, where it's not much of a learning tool in of itself, but it's more of a digital library such as the Digo, where you can gather URLs or PDFs or images and sort of save them into your own personalized library. But the main feature of Bridge URL is if you have, as a teacher, you have you're going to get a lot of resources, and if you want an easier way to manage them all, you don't want to have to constantly add or post URLs, you can create an umbrella term. So just like with the Digo, if you find a bunch of sources for reading, and then if you find a bunch of sources for reading, and you don't want to constantly keep having to update your own personal library or just saving the links somewhere on your computer, you can put them all under an umbrella term or tag, just like you would with the Digo. And that's pretty much the whole use for Bridge URL. It is a free to use app, but if you want to increase the amount of URLs and links that you can share, you do have to pay for an upgrade. And that was it.
And then
Design tools.
I guess that's me again. So for design tools, I did Adobe Spark and Canva, if I'm saying that right. Basically, Adobe Spark and Canva are almost the same, and where they're sort of like software that you would download on your computer. You can use it on your phone, but it's more effective and easier to use on your computer or tablet. And for Adobe Spark, it allows you to create your own video software to use, not just in an educational aspect, but for anything if you want to make a presentation in a class or something like that. It allows you to do animations. It allows you to make your own stories, presentations, collages, stuff like that. And it also allows you to make your own graphics. Like if you want to design something like a business card, you can use Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark is mostly used by educators, not so much as students, because it can get pretty complicated. It is a free-to-use app. It launched in 2011, and there are many free and paid extensions that you can download, like if you want to change your font or something, or if you want to add a different video software. And then the other tool, Canva, is pretty much Adobe Spark in the same sense, but it's specifically made for documents. So if you don't like how your Google Doc or just regular Word document looks, you can upload it to Canva, or you can use one of their own templates, and you can sort of bring just like a standard, white page Word document, and you can sort of make it look more professional, or if you want to, you can like animate it or just make it look more appealing. And that one is also more geared towards educators. It's also pretty complicated to use, and it's luckily it's free, but same with Adobe Spark. There are paid upgrades. And then, yeah, they're pretty much the same, and the only difference being Adobe Spark is more for animation and videos, and Canva is more for like a portfolio or documentation. So that's what I got.
These are all of our tools, right?
Yeah.
Okay. End it now.
Okay. I'm gonna hang up and